Let us take our way back to the beginning of the 18th century, at a time when the River Mersey was one of the biggest shipping lanes in the world. You had all of these ships coming into the river, making their way to the port of Liverpool. During this time, you had across the water probably the worst of the worst people who were ready to make their way with them illicit gains by coercing people onto the rocks of Ye Black Rock.
Eventually, fragments of history slowly dissolve if people aren't telling tales. We're storytellers, we're artists. I mean, what we like to do is we like to research and we like to find things out. I think that's what keeps things interesting for us in terms of the thematics of our artwork. Each place has its own interesting little, something. Whatever that is, we usually come across that or stumble upon something that sparks something in us when we do the research.
The great thing about New Brighton is it's got this incredibly complicated, colourful history of crazy goings on in the 1800s, shipwrecks and all this entire maritime stories that would just make you lose sleep at night.
What happened was you had lights being shined on rocks and ships would be coming towards them lights thinking it was the lighthouse, and they would smash into the rocks and the smugglers would come and plunder the ships. And as you can see on the mural, you can see persons running with barrels away from the actual ship. That's exactly how it was in days gone by.
For me, us telling stories within our artwork is really important. It keeps things going.
We pride ourselves on the fact that when we do visit these places, we try and absorb and listen to as much as we can, or put that groundwork in to make sure that when we go in there, it's something that the people who live there locally understand.
And for us as well, when we're painting in these places, we're leaving this behind for the people. It's in their towns, it's in their places that they spend their time. We paint it and we leave. So what we want, I think, as artists is we want to form that connection with people. And I think if you create something that's about that place, that holds some pride or a message or a story that these people can relate to, for us, that's the appeal.
One of the best things for us is to have people come up to us and ask us what stuff's about, and then for them to learn about what's happened, previously in their area, and they've learned something that day. There's something to connect each other and talk about this. Do you know what I mean? And so it goes way beyond just the act of us painting something cool on a wall. It's more about the process of pulling people together, giving them a sense of place and a sense of pride in the areas that they've grown up in.
This is my hometown, and I'll always be proud of it too. We're proud custodians of being New Brightoners.
The title of the piece is Seeking's Finding. The quote really resonated because there's something about it that's people were doing these things not out of spite but out of necessity, for weird survivalism.
Where people did it, to make a living. They were poor fishermen by day, but they were smugglers by night. So it was, what we've got to remember is they ran the gauntlet of the punishment for plundering or smuggling with death.
I think it's important to tell stories, especially stories of things that have actually happened.
That mural is depicting exactly what we know in this area.
Seeking's finding,
finding's keeping.